Okay, something came up in a support request today, and I just wanted to cover that. You can give people access to their archival folders from machine to machine. We have one example today where the user was logging in to a Windows client from a laptop computer to access a shared desktop folder from their personal computer. So I wanted to demonstrate what can occur if you have certain file types in the desktop environment and then suddenly you're trying to access them using the Windows client from another machine. Alright, so here we go. So the primary user here is going to be this Windows 10 user. So I'm on the Windows 10 machine. As you can see, I have some zip folders here on my desktop. Now, normally I would just, if I wanted to attach a folder to the tenant, I would just navigate to the folder, and then I would right click and I would attach it this way. This shared to Acme was attached that way. Alright, so but this user was trying something a little different. So this user went here and they wanted to attach this desktop. Now normally you would get a context menu, but you can't do that here. So what they did was they went to their console and then they just said attach a folder to back up, and then we browse this way. And we'll call this just so I can remember what it is. Okay, so that's happening in the background. And now when I go into my M drive, my cloud drive, I see that that folder is there. And so I think I've covered myself. I've got some files there and now I can access them on my notebook. So let's log in as the notebook user. So I want to access my files, so I double click and I get this message here: opening archives in the mapped drive hasn't been enabled by your administrator, and I get this Windows cannot open the folder response. So how do we solve that? I'm going to try this other one. You notice there's a different icon there, so let's try that one. I get the same answer. And we'll try this one, same answer. Okay, so the solution is to change a setting in your group policies. And in order to do that, you can get to that in several ways. One way is by pulling down this menu and going to the management console. And I'm looking at my device info for this system. And I can pull down this menu and go to settings, and then we have a mapped drive control here. If you scroll down, you can see that enable in place OpenZip exe file and the max size of the file are set. This one's not enabled and this one is set to 20. So that's one way to get to it if you want to alter it for a single machine. But this is two machines, and it's kind of a pain, especially if it's multiple people, to go to the different clients and edit it there. So let's try a different approach. Back over here, logged in as the cluster manager, and I'm in my Acme tenant. So I'm going to go to the group policy here, and under common settings I go to client setting manager, and I have that same map drive control here. Now if I set it here, I'm setting it for all of the users on this tenant. So that's one way to handle it, and that's probably a better way if you want to provide access to zip files en masse to everyone on a tenant. If you're a cluster manager, you might want to do that at the cluster level. So if I go to the dashboard here and then choose my default group policy settings, I get the same option, and I can set that here, and that will apply it to all my tenants, so everybody gets the same tweak. Now the downside, of course, is that really large zip files opened in place could cause a lot of data to be moved back and forth through your internet connection, so that's why you might want to restrict it. But I'm going to leave this to 20, and then I'll set that and go ahead and save. And in order for this to take effect, your clients will need to log out and log back in to their client, so not necessarily Windows. But here I am on that laptop computer, and I just sign out the manager. And now it looks like they're still there, but if I refresh, it's gone. And so now I need to sign that manager back in. So I get access to my folder again, and if I double click this file, then I can go inside, and now I have access to it. And here's the smaller one, same thing. And here's the larger file, and I get Windows cannot open file, access to compressed zip folder, and says it's denied. So we can't open that one, which is the 69 meg file, and you saw that setting earlier, so let's go back there and take a look at it. Under default group policy, client setting manager, map drive, we've got this 20 meg limit here, so we'll just raise that to 75 meg. And then we'll go back over here to this user, and settings aren't going to be updated here until we sign out and sign back in. And now if I try and open that folder, I can. See? So as long as you've got those two settings set appropriately for the kind of files that you want to access, a user can be in two different computers, two different systems, and access their folders, even really large files like this compressed file, this zip file here. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.